Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to this recorded lesson where we'll be going through the importance of physical activity, a healthy lifestyle, and how to manage our lifestyle. The two topics covered will consist of the role of physical activity when maintaining a healthy lifestyle and how health can be impacted by lifestyle factors and inactivity. If this sounds interesting, this is the video for you. We will talk about how more exercise can help anyone at any age, but also habits within your lifestyle can hold you back from what you want to achieve. If you are looking to take notes, there will be pauses in between the sections that will allow you to do so. The first section will talk about the role of physical activity in health. The physical activity is very beneficial when it comes to talking about a person's physical and mental health. Physical activity is what helps us to improve our health and well-being. When the body is inactive for a long period of time, the risk of non-communicable diseases increases and an overall poor health. This was stated by the WHO in 2024. This, however, also has a contrast. The more exercise we do, the more likely our strength and flexibility will improve, but also our mobility. You'll have to thank me when you're older. Health can also be psychological. This is things like your depression and anxiety. The idea that exercise helps to reduce these factors drastically. This can be done by doing activities in groups, helping us to open our minds to new people in the process, which was stated by Curious in 2023. The idea of doing group activity helps with engagement, which does not only apply to sport. This is important as a lot of people go into sport to find friends as they feel they have no one and want to help their self-esteem. I will give you a second to note this down. The next section would be physical activity guidelines for adults. An adult weekly should aim to do 150 minutes of activity, which is deemed to be their moderate intensity. This was stated by the NHS in 2024. However, half the time with a high intensity activity and the guidelines would still be hit. The idea behind this time is that you can mix activities that work different parts of the body. This could be anything from the legs to the shoulders. It's also important to know that doing this can reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. Linking to the last section, we talked about adults can also have a better mental health throughout life, which was also stated by the NHS. I will give you some time to write that down. The next section we'll talk about is the relationship between physical activity and healthier lifestyles. Physical activity and healthier lifestyles can be linked. Sources say that exercising can help people who struggle with addictions, including smoking and drinking, as it gives people a distraction from having to consume products like cigarettes and beer. This was stated by the BMC in 2020. If someone takes an interest in the science behind exercise and fitness, it may incline them to investigate the nutrients that we put in our body and make them aware that their addictions damage their body. Similarly, if someone gets into exercise, they will realise that their body is struggling to cope with high intensity and performance needs. Lastly, recovery times within injury will take longer due to the body having to fight the product of alcohol and smoking being consumed, making someone lose motivation. However, it is important to note that this will change if addictions are regulated and eventually cut out. I will give you some time to write this down. The next section would be impact of lifestyle factors on health. We've touched upon this, but this is important to go into more detail, obviously for you to understand. Lifestyle factors are key, and many can be why someone can struggle to stay fit. Some of these include workload stress from an office job, any job with high hours, a poor diet, so not eating as healthy as you may like, eating more fatty foods, and even addictions that I previously mentioned, like alcohol and smoking. Exercise and stress link as factors can help to improve this stress. The idea that the body can help to improve sleep schedules as it helps to relax the body. This was stated by Vita in 2024. When it comes to smoking and alcohol, they have components that lead to different diseases that deteriorate health. Some of these being lung cancer and liver disease. This is why it's important to know that you showed exercise when recovering from addiction to bodily functions like the lungs being improved. This was stated by the BMC in 2020. I will give you some time to write this down. Okay, next point would be reasons for physical inactivity. A lot of factors can cause physical activity, and it is not always the person's fault. And if it is important that you're in a position that you can overcome these barriers. Example of these challenges can be a lack of recreational spaces to do certain activities that you're interested in. Obviously, a lot of areas won't have these facilities that other people do have access to, but obviously there's always ways to overcome this. Obviously, another would be not having enough money to fund an activity. Obviously, it's important to know that there is facilities in place that will give these activities for free with the science knowledge behind it, obviously helping you as a person to learn more about that sport. The last one would be time and pressure from family, as noted by the Psychopedia 2022. Obviously, a family member may want you to do one sport, which causes you to feel more inclined to do that sport and not want the one that you want to do. A way to overcome these factors would to be investigate groups that help to communities which are struggling, which we will link up here. These facilities help with education in sport and how to move on to the higher levels. Obviously, a lot of people won't want to stay at this facility level and may want to go on to the professional level, the grassroots level. Obviously important to note that you can note this down too. The next would be evaluation of lifestyle choices and health. Choices that we make are important and influence how healthy we are. Talking over previous points, diet is important when it comes to health. Apps like MyFitnessPal, which we will link here, can be used if you want to see how many nutrients are in each item you consume. I've talked a lot about smoking, as it is important that this will never be good on your health. If this is a concern, there are people that you can talk to, including trained professionals, or there are alternatives that do not cause nearly as much harm. On the contrary, quitting these addictions and living a healthier lifestyle can help us as people to feel better within ourselves. Interpreting a balanced diet on top of the exercise can help us to feel fitter. And finally, a point we have spoken about, but mental health, which is an important point. Exercise can help us to feel less alone and help you to feel more confidence, not only within yourself, but around other people. So do you want to feel more confident as a person? This section was found on Harvard, and obviously there are ways you can find this in 2024. I feel that was an important section, so make sure you have wrote notes on that for later on. But as a conclusion, I'd like to thank you for listening. Hope you all learned something from this, and if you need anything help-wise with anything that was brought up, it is important to know you know where to find it. To conclude, I'd like to say that physical activity is very important to us and our bodies, offering us many benefits, socially, physically, and even mentally. To note that things we may see as normal, like smoking, drinking, and a poor diet, can take a toll on our health and cause barriers to physical activities that can demotivate almost all. It is important to note that you can live a happier lifestyle and even promote this to other people in your area that may not have access to this. Thank you for listening.